Okay, so I love reviewing headphones, but sometimes it can get a bit boring because they all do the same thing. You put them on your head and they play back audio. And then a pair comes along which are genuinely unique. These are the TiTum headphones, and they promise three very interesting things. Audiophile sound quality with the convenience of Bluetooth headphones, noise cancelling that doesn't interfere with sound quality, and the potential to be the only pair of headphones you ever need. Those are massive claims, which I need to get into straight away. This video is sponsored by TiTum Audio, but every single opinion you're about to hear is my own. The TiTum headphones will hit Amazon later this year for $349, but there is a Kickstarter campaign launching in March. They're also revealing a brand new colour as part of that Kickstarter campaign, which looks very lovely indeed. And if by the end of this video you're tempted by these cans, you can save 30% by getting involved in that campaign. I'll put a link to it down below, but let's get into the specs of these. They've got very large 50mm beryllium drivers and separate noise cancelling drivers, which I'll get onto later. The exact battery life isn't yet confirmed, but they're quoting it as extra long, so that sounds pretty promising. The Bluetooth is 5.3 with a 15-meter range. There's also support for high-res lossless audio, and there's a built-in DAC which is capable of 24-bit audio at 96 kHz. The TiTum headphones also have something called truly transformed technology, which I'll explain later. So far, so interesting, right? Let's start with design and comfort, and straight off the bat, these are a very comfy pair of headphones. Sometimes I do get headphones out and put them on, and it takes a while for the comfort to kind of make itself known, weirdly, partly because I don't have much hair. In fact, I don't have any hair, and things like the band can be a little bit uncomfortable. As soon as I put these on my head, they were comfortable. Now, they're not small. These are quite a big pair of noise cancelling headphones. There's a reason for that, which I'll explain later, but the good news is they're not heavy. And more importantly, that ear cushioning is absolutely superb. These are so comfy. The headband as well. Again, for someone who is follically challenged, it works. In terms of the design, they're not particularly garish. In fact, they're not garish at all. They're not like a pair of Beats headphones, but they do look pretty purposeful, which I really like. Yes, they're made from plastic mainly, but it's decent plastic. It feels good in the hand. They also have physical buttons. There's no touch controls on these. They're all on the right ear cup for starters, so there's no having to remember which ear cup has the right control on. TiTum say that they've made them feel like clicking a mouse, and I kind of get that. They feel very satisfying to press, and they're in the right place. They also have multi-point connectivity, which I know is important to a lot of you. This is where you can connect these to more than one device and switch between them effortlessly. It's very useful. In terms of the case, again, it's quite big, but it's incredibly robust. And there's no weird crushing feature, which, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So in terms of design, these are fantastic. You feel like you're getting a lot for your money, but let's get on to the sound. What's interesting about the TiTum headphones is that they are pitched as audiophile cans, but they are equally, well, they're noise cancelling. And normally, in any normal world, those two things don't go together. You don't have noise cancelling and audiophile in the same sentence. TiTum's goal with these is to somehow marry the audiophile sound signature, which is flat and accurate and all that stuff, with the convenience of a pair of noise cancelling headphones. Now, that isn't an easy job at all, and that does mean that there's going to be compromises at both ends of the scale. But the good news is they have done an incredibly impressive job of meeting somewhere in the middle. Those big 50mm drivers and the large acoustic chambers in these headphones do make them a bit bigger, as I mentioned, than other noise cancelling headphones, but they're still considerably smaller and much more portable than a lot of audiophile headphones. TiTum has developed its own sound signature, which is called TiTum UHD, and the result is a very nice sounding pair of headphones. Now, I'm not going to give you the audiophile specifics and the sound performance by frequency range because I don't get it at all. I'm just not that sort of person, but I can tell you how these sound sound straight out of the box. The bass is lovely and controlled, it's detailed, it never gets in the way. There's real weight behind this sound actually. That was really evident on Lenny Kravitz's TK421, which is one of my favourite new test tracks. There's a very wide soundstage as well, which again is what you expect from audiophile headphones, and no single frequency dominates the listening experience. Now, a flat sound isn't for everyone, I get that, but it's a little bit like whiskey. Bear with me here. When you first try whiskey, your reaction is probably going to be ugh. But after that, each subsequent experience of whiskey gets better because you learn to savour the taste and feel that warmth going down your throat. It becomes an experience and something which eventually you like. Now, don't get me wrong, when you first put these on your head, you're not going to go, but if you're used to consumer headphones, you may think they sound a little bit dull. And trust me, the exact same thing would happen if you put a pair of very expensive audiophile headphones on your head. But it is the best way to hear your favourite artists because you're hearing the sound pretty much as they intended it. And trust me, you hear things you've never heard before. And if you want to hear the absolute best sound quality on these headphones, you can connect the supplied USB-C cable to the TiTum headphones, plug that into your Mac or your PC, and listen to proper lossless audio. I tried this on the Mac and the TiTum headphones show up as a DAC in the audio MIDI settings, and they gladly accept the higher bitrate stuff from Apple Music. The soundstage opens up a little bit further, there's definitely more detail. That DAC option is really, really welcome. You can also plug these in and use them passively, and what I mean by that is that you can connect this very nice supplied cable to your TiTum headphones like that, plug that into a sound source, not turn these on, and they still work. Now, there are lots of noise cancelling headphones on the market that you can't do that with. As soon as you plug them in, they turn on. For someone like me who does a lot of video editing on the road, that is incredibly convenient because it means I can benefit from having a wired connection, but not worry about battery life. And now we have to talk about noise cancelling. Noise cancelling is a bit weird because to achieve noise cancelling on headphones like these, they have to bring in the outside world, which sounds completely counterintuitive. Surely they need to block that out. Well, the reason they do that is because when the noise comes in, they change the phase. So they basically switch the phase around of that sound so that in theory, the sound outside with the other phase is being cancelled out by the sound inside the cans, which is the opposite phase. Basically, it cancels out the noise on the outside. That's a terrible explanation, but I find it really interesting. In a lot of noise cancelling headphones, they use the main driver to do that phase cancellation, and that can introduce issues when it comes to the sound. This is why I occasionally get questions about whether or not you can turn off noise cancelling on headphones. There are certain headphones that you can't turn noise cancelling off at all. And given what we've just learned about noise cancelling, that's interesting. Equally, it's why noise cancelling does not exist in the world of audiophile headphones. They don't want anything to spoil the sound. Now, the way that TiTum have got around this is to put a separate pair of noise cancelling drivers into these. And that means the big drivers just deal with the sound. The result is really impressive. As a pair of noise cancelling headphones, these are among the best I've ever tried. The world goes very quiet and there's barely any hiss or noise when you're not playing music. And the fact that you know the noise cancelling is not interfering with the sound is a real plus. That's a very smart trick, but it's not the only trick these have up their sleeve. When TiTum Audio started developing these back in 2017, they thought, I wonder if we can emulate the sound of other headphones. If we fast forward to 2024, that's exactly what they've tried to do. And that means that these cans can pretend to be other pairs of headphones. This is all done from within the TiTum app, and you basically just choose the pair of headphones you want these to sound like. At launch, they have emulations of the Bose 700s, Beyerdynamics DT770 Pros, a pair of audiophile Audi's headphones, I think that's how you pronounce it, which I don't have, and the good old-fashioned Sony XM5s. Now, TiTum is very honest about this. They do say that emulating any other pair of headphones isn't as simple as just tweaking the EQ, because they all have very specific hardware, and in the case of audiophile headphones and headphones that need, external amplification, there's lots of different factors that contribute towards the sound. But what they've done with the TiTum headphones is attempt to mimic the specific characteristics of these headphones. It's what they call the signature sound of headphones like the Bose 700s, and in practice they don't sound identical to, let's say, the Sony XM5s, although that's not a bad thing, but they do a very good job of it. Let's be honest, if they did sound identical to these headphones, TiTum would have cracked the code for the headphone market. That's impossible because, well, for the reasons I just explained. I love the fact that you can switch between those profiles very easily on the app. There's one called Movies and Games, which is TiTum's own EQ profile for those two purposes. So for instance, if you're watching stuff on the TV via Bluetooth and then you need to switch to these in wired mode via the DAC for, Logic Pro music production, you can do it so quickly. They're very flexible headphones because of that, but I just love this kind of innovation. They sound superb. They do a fantastic job of marrying the convenience of noise-cancelling headphones with the flat sound of audiophile cans, and the noise cancelling is among the best I've heard. Now, staunch audiophiles may look at these and think, nah, I'll stick with my really expensive cans, but there's a huge argument for those people to have a pair of these in their arsenal, if nothing else for the flexibility, the convenience, and the portability. Let me know in the comments if you're tempted by the TiTum headphones, and don't forget to check out that Kickstarter campaign. There's a link down below.